Hey peeps, Claudia King here, founder of Automio, creator of Scale Up and award-winning legal innovator. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 tips on how to implement the 4-day work week at your law firm while increasing your income at the same time. Now, please do stay around till the end of the video because I will share with you how to get your hands on our free guide, which is all about how to free up 1 day a week every week to work on your law firm to grow it. This is something that has been a key to my success. I've done all the legwork and figuring out how to do this, so please wait around and find out how to download it. Right, let's get into it. Right, peeps, so here is the thing. We all know that with the traditional way of doing law, you need to work more to make more. So the more traditional lawyers, if they want to make more money, they work harder. And that's why often they don't take time off, because if they take time off, they sacrifice their revenue, their income. So that is why when I talk about the 4-day work week, some people are super interested. Usually the more entrepreneurial, modern, innovative lawyers are like, that sounds interesting. And the traditional lawyers are all like, what the hell are you talking about? So here is the thing. We recently rolled out the 4-day work week in my business, Automio, which is the legal technology company. We started a trial in August 2020. I'd read a lot about the 4-day work week being rolled out at Perpetual Guardian by Andrew Barnes in New Zealand, and I was very interested in it and decided that I really wanted to provide that sort of an experience for my team for a number of different reasons. The first being that I believe that rest is revolutionary. Like, the more I rest and take care of myself, the more money we make and the more fun I have. I also believe that the more rest we have, then the more innovative ideas my team comes up with, and also the smarter they work. Now, when I talk about the 4-day work week, I just want to be really clear what I mean, because sometimes people can misinterpret what a 4-day work week is. So often when I talk about it, people are like, so does that mean that they do 5 days worth of work in 4 days? And so the answer to that is yes, but not in terms of the number of hours. So if we do 40 hours a week over 5 days, it doesn't mean that they do 40 hours over 5 days. We all do 32 hours over 4 days, and we find ways to work smarter so that we can, reduce the number of hours that we're working. Often people think that to work a 4-day work week, we're working 10 hours a day, and that is not true. We're doing our usual 8 hours a day, and then we have 1 day a week off to spend as we please. So whether that is to work on other business opportunities, whether that's to work on other wealth building opportunities, whether that's to relax, whether that's to look after yourself, whether that is to spend time with loved ones, sport, hobbies. We all do different things here in my team with our day off. Most of us take Friday off. Some of us take Monday off so that we can have that continuity of support for our clients and our customers. But overall, it has been a really good success, the 4-day work week for my business, and we have significantly increased our revenue since August when we first started the trial. So I have 4 tips that I want to share with you today on how to implement the 4-day work week while increasing your income at the same time. So tip number 1 is be more productive, which sounds pretty obvious, but kind of hard to do sometimes, right? So first of all, I recommend that you go and watch my Perfect Week video here on YouTube. So search it here on YouTube, the Perfect Week, and watch that about how to plan a week that is really productive and energizing for you based on all the things that you want to do and achieve in your week. The other thing when it comes to being more productive is setting boundaries, okay? So being really clear about what you will do and what you won't do and when you will say no, which is hard for a lot of people. And it's definitely a muscle that you have to flex and get good at over time. It's not something you can instantly start doing. But, think about a good place to start is to really think about where boundaries are being crossed in your life and start with those and start setting some, whether it's with your partner or your children or your work colleagues. That's a really good place to start to become more productive. So that's number one, be more productive. Number two is delegate. So when I talk to law firm owners about delegation, often they think that they are pretty good delegators, and many of you are when it comes to legal work. But all the other stuff that you do, often law firm owners are not so good at delegating that. So what I recommend is figuring out all the things that you do and looking at what you can delegate. And the best way to do that is to carry out a time study, to write down everything you do for a week. And this is both at work and outside of work, because often, there's a really good opportunity to hire some help and do some delegation outside of work as well, because that work that you do at home in terms of more domestic type work can be very draining on energy. And the more energy you have, then the more likely you will be able to, condense the work you have down into 4 days. But back to the time study. So really looking at what you've got on your plate that you can get off your plate. And a way that I did this over many years is I used to have a spreadsheet, a to-do list in a spreadsheet, and I used to call it, honestly, the spreadsheet of doom, because there wasn't a lot about my job earlier on when I first became a partner in a law firm. There wasn't much about my job that I liked. And so I called it the spreadsheet of doom as a joke, but I was actually serious. Anyway, but I had a column in there that was all like, love it or hate it. And so everything that I put in there, I was all like, do I love it or do I hate it? And if I was kind of like, I kind of like it, it was hate it. Like I had to be like, yes, I love this for it to be love it. And as soon as I put hate it, if that task kept coming up and I kept putting hate it, that was a sign to me that I needed to get it off my plate. So I had to delegate it. I had to figure out how I could get that job off my plate. So there might be somebody on your team who can take that on, whether it's an assistant or another lawyer or a paralegal or legal exec. It might be time to hire a virtual assistant or a personal assistant. It really depends on where you're at in your journey as a law firm owner as to who you can delegate to and whether you need to hire somebody to help you with that. But definitely looking at where you can delegate stuff so that you can work in your zone of genius, doing the things that you're super amazing at, and delegate all the rest of it is a real key to being successful with a 4-day work week. So that's number 2, delegate. Number 3 is use technology. To have a modern approach towards the practice of law and to be innovative, you need to be regularly looking at your processes and looking where you can add in technology to help you out. So when it comes to a 4-day work week, this becomes extra important because, you need to reduce the time that you are spending on things. So becoming really aware of what the processes are in your business, getting the processes really tight, making sure they're working really well so that you can use technology to automate them is super important. And so it's something that you need to turn your mind to. And while you do need to make decisions, it's also not a good idea to just jump on new technologies like the same day because you Googled something and something popped up and it sounded good. Spend a bit of time actually figuring out what you need, have a chat to a couple of people, and get somebody to act as a sounding board for you so that you can make the best technology decisions so that you don't have to rework them later. So that's number 3, use technology. Number 4 is implementing systems into your law firm. So law firm owners often say to me, oh, we've got lots of systems in our law firm. We're really good at sort of systemizing our approach. And I think that is true to a certain extent, but the systems are kind of all in the law firm owner's head. And yes, they do this and then this and then this, and they do the same thing every time. But that system is not documented or communicated in a sort of a logical format to the rest of the team. So often what ends up happening is people are doing things differently. And that means that to speed that system up or to automate it, it means that that's going to be really difficult to do. So figuring out, the systems that you're using, particularly when it comes to your client experience, from the moment that your client comes into the office to the moment that you're closing the file and sending them on their way, like really systemizing that is super key and will really help you start to speed things up. And really that is the first step before you start bringing in pieces of tech to actually, start automating bits, is really looking at your client journey, your client experience, and how you can put systems in place to make sure that it runs like clockwork without you. It's really key to being able to help you and your team work a 4-hour week. Sorry, a 4-day week, 4-hour week. That's Tim Ferriss. Really good book, by the way. So I just wanted to cover a couple of pitfalls when it comes to the 4-day work week, because we implemented it in August. And a couple of months later, so we did a trial for a couple of months, and then we reviewed it. And I was asking for feedback, and the feedback was quite general, in that people were saying, we love it, it's such a great idea. But I noticed that particularly with my senior team, my executive team, a number of them were quite burnt out and weren't quite themselves when we were having one of our quarterly meetings. And I said to them, so, how is the 4-day work week going for you? And they said, oh, love it. And I said, are you actually taking the Friday off? And 3 of them who are ex-lawyers, or 2 are ex-lawyers, by the way, which I find really interesting. They were like, oh, well, we work some of the day, but we love that we don't have to work, and we love that we can just, work from home, or that we can just do a couple of hours, but we still work every Friday. And I said, well, no, that's not the point. The point is that you do not work. You go and do something for yourself that day. And they were sort of like, oh, and I was like, so you're not actually allowed to work. It's your day. It's your free day. You don't work. If you're working because you feel you have to, we need to work together to figure out why you feel compelled to work. Like, is it a mindset thing, or is it because there's work happening at the office that is demanding your attention? Because if there's work happening that's demanding your attention, then we need to get systems in place to figure that out. But if it's mindset, well, we need to work on that as well. And so what we found out was that it was largely mindset. And so we set a rule that we weren't to work, and that we would share on a Friday the things that we would do for ourselves, and that we would schedule in, whether it was playing golf or going for a massage or whatever it was, but we would schedule things in to make sure that, everyone went and scheduled their things and did their things, and we would share them to sort of hold each other accountable to actually taking a day off. Because especially for lawyers, like when you've worked so hard for so long, like taking a Friday off every week there's quite a lot of guilt there. And anyway, so once we got people into the groove of taking the Friday off, that's really when we started to see results and work well together as a team. And the ideas that started coming through were of a much higher quality, and our ability to work faster as a team together and pick up more momentum as a business has really picked up. And I think it's largely due to the 4-day week, and that yeah, we're much more rested, and that feels pretty revolutionary to me. So just to recap, here are the 4 tips on how to implement a 4-day work week and earn more while you're doing it. So number 1 is be more productive. Number 2 is delegate. Number 3 is use technology. And number 4 is implement systems. Right, I promised you if you stayed to the end of this video that I would share with you how to get your hands on our free guide about how to free up 1 day a week to work on your business to grow it. So there is a link down below, so click that and you'll be able to download that free guide. It is a key way that I have achieved my success by freeing up my time. I've done all the legwork to figure out how to do it, and I share it with you in that guide, so please do go and get a copy of it. Now, if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can see more of these kind of videos, and please leave a comment below about whether you would be willing to implement a 4-day work week at your work or not, or what your thoughts are about it. And as always, I want to challenge you to keep doing the work, putting in the reps to build your dream law firm, and I will see you in the next vid. All right, bye. If there's anything these past months have shown us, it's that the time to make lasting, impactful change in the legal industry is right now. So I want to challenge you to shake things up and create change today. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this video with your lawyer friends. See you next week.